Ladies and gentlemen, the Tuesday Night Titans are back. It is us, Post to Post podcast with your host, Drummer John, and the Brothers of Discussion, myself and my brother Will. And then back again for the ride is our good buddy, Weatherman. How's everyone doing tonight?
Back by unpopular demand.
Hey,
dude,
demand.
you boosted our ratings last week. Just so you know, we now have 13 fans. We went up by 1.
Hot damn.
Dude, you were great last week. It's awesome having you back. Great discussion, great insight. I kind of dig you.
It's all the Jim Cornette talk. That's all it is.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's all it is.
I mean, I really put the heat on AEW when they first started up.
You did. God damn you. The past week, we had goings on here and there. The big thing was All Out, but we're going to save that for the end. You know, save the best for last. I mean, well,
the goodies.
Best, air quotes. The most topical point of conversation for last. But we'll kick it off with some WWE happenings over the past week.
Sure. Let me kick it off with this. The AOP, the Authors of Pain, Razor, finally gets cleared to come back to the ring, and they get released.
Well, I mean, what is it? The past 3 years, they've wrestled, 10 times maybe, it feels like to me? So, I mean...
They were alternating getting injured. It seemed like when Akam was injured, Razor was healthy, and when Razor was injured, Akam was healthy. But when they were healthy, when they were in NXT, they were good. They dominated, man. I enjoyed them.
Now, one thing about them, real quick, is it pronounced Akam or Akam?
They always said Akam.
Okay, just making sure. It could just be a fun pronunciation, just because their names definitely without the hard A. If you were to soften it to just like with Razor, if you soften it to Razor, you've got a reference to Occam's Razor, which is, one of those fun little tidbits.
I was going to say, they just watched a lot of The Critic from 93, and him going, Acham!
Acham!
Critic reference, and I thought I was the only one that watched that show.
God damn, that show was amazing.
But they got released. Other big news, WWE has banned its personnel from third-party companies, platforms like Twitch and Cameo, and people are pissed off about it. There's been some finger pointing. Some people wanted to blame Lana for it, saying that she was doing Bang Energy commercials. Miro wasn't too happy about that.
Bang.com commercials.
No.
Oh, right. I almost went to a whole nother level there. We're going to pass on that. That's too early to start shutting me down. And then also with AJ Styles, he announced on his Twitch channel that he tested positive for coronavirus. So WWE is not able to control that narrative when they're announcing this shit on these third-party platforms. So, that's going on. AEW took a dig at that this week.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the bad thing about that. I wonder if that's going to hurt Asuka's YouTube channel, because that's pretty fun to watch.
They talked about YouTube channels also, and I think they're going to have to lose those also. They're talking about everything. Pro Wrestling Tees,
I heard YouTube was fine because that's also where Xavier Woods' stuff is, and that's been approved. I heard YouTube is fine, Twitch, Cameo, and things like that.
But if they're letting Woods do his thing, there's where your lawsuits will be involved.
Because if you have a YouTube show, it's already been approved, so they're cool with your YouTube stuff staying. But it comes down to, did we approve it? No? Cut that shit out.
I feel like...
But, we all know what all this comes down to. One of them's going to have an OnlyFans before it's over with.
OnlyFans. Yeah, Sonny's got that.
as bad as but as bad as that sounds, I
didn't subscribe to that monthly.
Oh no. I would not be surprised if all of that came to pass, though. But to me, it just seems like WWE's about to step into a can of worms that they're not going to want to deal with, because it's going to boil down to how controlling they are over their talent. And right now, with the way things are, that's a terrible, terrible thing to start working towards.
And with AEW being more free in that aspect, I think too, it does have to do with the thing you talk about Lana too. You gotta think too, because she's on Rusev stuff, or Miro, whatever he's calling himself now. They may not like that because they're associating with former talent.
They're also saying that like some of the YouTube content is a problem. They're saying that Sheamus's workout channel on YouTube is a problem because of the fact that he's using his WWE nickname. They're apparently not too concerned about Paige's Twitch channel because she already changed the name of it to Saraya, but she's not on TV. She's not an
active wrestler though, so that's a different. Yeah. But also going to Sheamus, the problem there is because he's not. If he was promoting Ico Pro, it wouldn't be a problem.
That's a fair point.
Is that too old of a reference?
I don't think so.
So yeah, on that one, I'm seeing what you're seeing also, Grayson, where they're saying that YouTube is not as big a concern, but then I'm also seeing that it is because of certain things. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But a lot of ex-superstars are speaking out. Mick Foley, CM Punk are saying shit about it. Brody Lee has banned Evil Uno from using Twitch and being on Twitch. So that happened.
Perfect.
You gotta love Brody Lee. He's fucking awesome. What else we got? WWE, the Hurt Business. Hurt Business got themselves a new member this week.
Yeah, they recruiting.
Yeah, they brought in Cedric Alexander. He had a heel turn, and then after the heel turn, they did the VIP lounge where they indoctrinate him. I thought it was really cool that, earlier in the night when he had a match, he was wearing his purple trunks, and then he joins the Hurt Business, and he comes out with the Hurt Business, and his trunks are now black and gold. But they're his Cedric Alexander trunks, but they're black and gold. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. They moving fast with this one. But Cedric Alexander now part of the Hurt Business.
Well, that's a good spot. It's building the stable like we were talking about last week. Apparently, yet again, they're listening to us.
They're investing in the group.
During that match, Ivar from the Viking Raiders suffered an injury. He dove through the ropes outside the ring and landed. It looks like his knee. It looked like his leg, his knee, the way that he landed. But he actually threw up the cross arms himself. We don't see that very often where a wrestler throws them up for himself. We saw, at All Out, we saw Aubrey Edwards do it, but he threw him up for himself, and they had to finish the match quickly because of that. But nobody told Ricochet that they were ending the match, so he kicked out after 2, but they counted it as a 3 count, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, poor Ricochet.
But hopefully, Ivar. Hopefully, it's not too serious. Hopefully, he comes back quickly. What do we got? We have a new NXT champion as of tonight. And I'm just going to say it again. I fucking called it.
You did.
Finn Balor is the new NXT champion. Won the belt for in that match tonight. Him and Adam Cole were vying for the belt that was held in a bait after Karrion Kross got himself injured.
And now Balor sets the precedent for being the first 3-time champion?
Yep. Or is it the first 3-time champion, or is he the third 2-time champion?
Let's find out.
Third ever
2-time champion. My bad.
That's what I thought, because he won the first belt in 2015, The first time he won it, but I didn't think he had it a second time. This is his second time.
I misread. Yeah, he's the third two-time champion.
Oh, good, brother. Let's see, what else we got? Retribution, who is exclusively to Monday Night Raw now, cut their first promo this week. Some quick-eyed fans took to that promo and did some enhancements to it where they lightened up the picture so you could see who was behind the masks a little bit better. And clearly, if you see this picture, it is Mojo Rawley, Dominic Dijakovic, Dion Madden, Mia Yim, and Mercedes Martinez.
Sounds like the WCW invasion.
Well, Mercedes Martinez has a cage match tonight, so it's possible they'll be writing her off if she gets injured enough by Rhea Ripley in the match. And that would make room for her to come up, but I mean, she wasn't hardly in NXT at all. And the Iconics have officially gone their own way. I don't remember if we talked about that or not.
We mentioned it real quick. We said it happened, and now it's official.
Yeah, so it is done. They have their own theme musics now. They came out and they actually had a match against each other last night on Monday Night Raw. Peyton Royce took the win. Billie Kay is now the femme fatale. After the match, they had an emotional time in the ring where they were hugging each other and stuff like that. So I still think, if they're going to keep them separated, and not as the Iconics, they need to move one or the other to the other brand. Because it seems that tag teams breaking up are the soup du jour in the WWE this week.
No shit.
Because Sasha and Bayley have also gone their own ways. They had a rematch for the women's title against Nia and Shayna on Friday night. Nia and Shayna won that match. Sasha during the match messed her knee up really bad. They brought, referees and trainers out and everything. And as they were trying to get her out of the ring and whatnot, Bayley attacks her and kicks the crap out of her, man. Big time. So she's not going to be on TV for a little bit. Looks like she's going to be written off. And then Big E got attacked by Sheamus because he was supposed to be in the match. There was a four-way match to determine who will be the next opponent at Clash of Champions for the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, SmackDown
What a terrible
title.
Fucking nickname. God damn.
The Tribal Chief.
If Roman Reigns, I swear to God, they fuck up giving him nicknames every time they do it. The Tribal Chief sucks. The Big Dog sucks.
So, is Michael Cole going to scream whenever he comes out, the Tribal Chief?
Well, nobody else said it last week other than Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was the only one who said it during his, talking that he was doing during his segment, his promo. So I don't know if it's going to stick or not. We have to wait at least.
I wonder if he'll come out as a Samoan chief dressed like King Haku.
He needs to come out dressed like Rocky Maivia, with all the bright colors and shit.
That's a real blue chipper right there. I tell you, Vince.
Austin Theory has returned to WWE television. He's back on NXT now after the whole speaking out allegations and whatnot. They're not saying whether or not that's what happened, but I mean, it's easy to assume that he was taken off TV for a couple months, and now he's back down to NXT. That it might have been related to the speaking out movement. Speaking of speaking out, WWE has removed programming and content from the WWE network of individuals from the indie shows who had speaking out movement allegations against them. So we saw some content get removed from there. Once again, trending tonight. Fire Velveteen Dream was trending again tonight.
Now, why is that a big thing right now?
They need to leave that man alone. They didn't find nothing.
I mean, here's the thing. With the whole speaking out thing and whatnot, yeah, what they did out of the ring is on, but is it really worth taking their content down? I mean, they wrestled, they had matches. What they did outside the ring, let the lawyers handle that. I mean, they're not taking the Benoit stuff off, and he killed people.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
they don't talk about him at all, though. Like, he doesn't exist. He's there, but he doesn't exist in WWE.
Well, they can be the same way. They can be there and just not exist.
That's true as well.
There needs to be a fine line. Like, here's my thing with the speaking out thing. If you were hindering talent by using sex, like, for instance, female wrestlers, yeah, fuck you on that one. But when it comes to fans, they're just rats. Fuck them. Which they probably did.
Oh, no.
So they back to the Roman Reigns piece, his contender at Clash of Champions for the SmackDown title, for the Universal title, I'm sorry, is going to be Jey Uso, his own fucking cousin. Because Big E got knocked out of the match by Sheamus, road kicking him into a garage door.
There went that Big E push.
I know.
And that's exactly what I was thinking, too. I'm like, oh, there's his push.
I said that the other week when they announced, like, when Roman made his return. I was like, well, there goes Big E's fucking title push. He's done.
Yep.
Well, here was the thing. Vince must have took a week off, and they were starting to get that. They were going to try and slip that by, and then he came back and went, "Don't work for me, pal. Rewrite it."
No, he doesn't have the physique. He's not big enough.
He's not Samoan enough. He's Jey Uso. He's in the family.
Well, we still got a couple weeks until Clash of Champions. There's only 2 confirmed matches so far, which is going to be Roman versus Jey Uso, and then Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton.
Well,
again.
Truthfully, it is WWE, so we know it's going to end up being a favorite 4-way probably, because them having a one-on-one title match is some reason difficult to have.
Honestly, with just about every fucking promotion, it's been like that lately, and it fucking annoys the shit out of me. I mean, I'm all for everyone getting like a good shot at stuff, but fuck.
Remember back in the day when the 3-way dance was special?
Yes.
Well, you may be getting a 3-way dance for the Intercontinental title. Sami Zayn has returned with his Intercontinental Championship in tow, claiming that he is the Intercontinental Champion. Jeff Hardy, who is the current title holder, claims he is the Intercontinental Champion. And AJ Styles is claiming that Jeff Hardy used an illegal weapon on him in the form of a knee brace, and he should be the Intercontinental Champion. So those 3 are probably going to get it on at Clash of Champions.
I'm okay with the premise of that one. I'm okay with that.
Are we smelling a ladder match here?
I don't think so, because they have made nothing's been geared towards that. But I mean, they like their gimmicky matches.
Is there just one belt, or is Sammy wearing a belt? And is Jeff Hardy wearing a belt, or is there just one belt right now?
No, there's 2 belts. Sammy's got one, Jeff Hardy's got one.
Ladder match. Razor and Shawn worked. We'll do it again, but with 3 people.
Yep. I honestly, I thought ladder match just because Jeff Hardy's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the sickness is strong in him.
I thought because 2 belts being involved.
I was just thinking of Spot Monkey Syndrome. But yes, the Razor reference and the callback to that is a good move on their part.
And you know what else they need to bring back?
What?
Ladder cam.
Ladder cam?
AEW's brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't really said it. But they haven't really used it for a ladder match, but they have it back just in general. Remember how special it was when you'd have a ladder match and you'd have that camera directly above the ring?
Yep.
It really gave some good shots.
Yeah, AEW used a couple shots from that straight up above thing to show off the Mimosa Mayhem match.
Yep, because they could see both the tanks at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had been playing with it they had been playing with it on Dynamite.
Huh.
And then the only other thing WWE related, we made it through WWE in under 25 minutes. It's fucking crazy.
That's nuts.
Ralphus, the former bodyguard of Chris Jericho,
in his WCW days.
In his WCW days, has passed away. Apparently over a year ago, but we're just finding out about it now.
Now, what were you about to say, Alex?
There's your WCW news.
There it is, yes. Breaking WCW news that's a year old but new as of like 2 days ago.
Well, it didn't make it to the hotline until this week.
Oh, is that what it was? The WCW hotline?
1-900-909-9900. Once again, that's 1-900-909-9900. Call the WCW hotline today. Kids, get your parents' permission before you call.
Oh shit! It was ridiculous. I mean, a fucking what was that, Alex? Like $1.50 a minute towards the end.
Yeah, $1.49.
The first minute, and then $1 afterward, I think.
Oh,
god damn!
Oh, my soul. I mean,
but if you wanted the inside scoop, that was the place to go.
Yeah. It truly was. It's the dirt.
And you had the WWF on AOL and Shawn Michaels poking at a keyboard. And guess what? He's still poking at a keyboard.
Oh. Even though it's late news, R.I.P. to Ralphus. It was a great gimmick.
Yeah, it was. He was a truck driver. He was one of the guys who hauled their shit from site to site.
I think he drove the ring truck, actually, with Bill.
Did not know that. I just knew he drove. He was a truck driver for him. All right, take us somewhere. Where are we going? AEW?
Real quick, since, again, we're going to hit most of the meat here in just a minute. New Japan and all of their stuff going on lately. They're in the middle of the junior heavyweight tag tournament. And as of right now, here's how it stands. Hiromu and Bushi are 2-0. El Desperado and Kanemaru are 1-1.
Desperado.
Yes. Taguchi and Master Wato are 1-1. And Bone Soldier and Gato are 0-2.
Ooh, that's not good.
I said it last week. As soon as I saw the announcement and saw he was paired up with Gato, I was like, they're not fucking winning.
No.
No, not at all.
Unless they come from behind at this point.
Yeah, as Bullet Club for life as I am, I mean, you stick Gato with somebody, and
they lose.
No ifs, ands, buts. Unless he's there as an interfering factor, it's not going to happen. He is tag team kryptonite because, I mean, the man barely bends when he walks, just like Matt Hardy in the ring. But less believably.
I was watching Gato and Nitro. I think I saw Gato live on Nitro when I went to one of the Charlotte shows.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen some old Jado and Gato matches, and they were fucking good back in the day. But age has hit them like a ton of bricks.
I think Gato was managed by Sonny Ono as part of his group.
That wouldn't surprise me. I enjoyed Sonny Ono's.
I mean, he was like he was more or less the representative of New Japan and WCW.
He was. I enjoyed when Ultimo Dragon was heel and Sonny Ono was repping him too.
Sonny Ono, the creator of the selfie.
Yes.
Write it down.
Make note of it. It's history, gentlemen. Other than that, other things taking place at New Japan Road is a reveal of who's involved in this year's G1 Climax. This is all happening tomorrow. So here in just a few hours, Japan time, we're going to see what Block A and Block B look like. And it's going to be super cliff noted compared to usual, because normally it starts at the end of June, beginning of July, and lasts all the way to the beginning of September. But with Big Rona and all its bullshit, G1 this year is mid-September, September 19th through middle October. And then the last thing out of New Japan, which I find the most awkward of them all, is New Japan is getting a manga series called New Japan Academy. And it's featuring a teenage Tetsuya Naito trying to make his way to the top of the academy. Yes.
That makes me laugh.
I know. It's wonderful because it's every Japanese like shonen manga trope where it's like they pick someone, if they're doing it off of something famous, they pick someone famous, and then for some reason they automatically put them back in high school. But yeah, it's like here's the brief synopsis. It stars it's the stars of New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you've never seen them before, teenager Tetsuya Naito is aiming for the top of New Japan Academy, but in order to be the champion, he'll have to face formidable students like Rainmaker, Katsuchika Okada, and the once-in-a-century talent Hiroshi Tanahashi. Luckily for Naito, he has his boys in Los Ingobernables de Japón on his side. No matter the odds, Naito's motto remains the same: tranquilo. I honestly, I'm fucking sold on it.
But, I might watch it.
No, it's a read. It's a comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some interesting news about Ring of Honor. I don't know if you guys noticed. They're doing a pure title tournament. The bracket has been released, and I'll just go over it right quick.
Yeah, real quick.
In Block A, will be Jay Lethal versus Dalton Castle. Winner to meet, I guess, Fit Finley's son and Rocky Romero. Whoever Young is versus Yehi. Williams versus Ray Taylor or Robert Taylor. I can't remember who that is. It's how long it's been since I've actually paid attention to the Ring of Honor. In Block B, it'll be Jonathan Gresham versus Utah. Delirious versus Matt Sydal. Woods versus Kenny King. And Black versus Deppen. I guess that's PJ Black, maybe?
Could be.
Or am I wrong, though?
Possibly. Well, PJ Black, he does wrestle over there, so it's possible.
Surprises hear Matt Sydal's name. I guess he's doing a little split thing, or maybe that's one of their ends with Ring of Honor now.
Or it was already recorded.
Or it could have been pre-recorded, yes. We shall see. Interesting stuff. When it gets a little closer to airtime, we might try to throw some predictions in on that, even though some of them seem probably a little on the nose call-wise.
It's also the last real man's birthday today.
Oh.
Silas Young, so happy birthday to him.
Yes, happy birthday.
And he was an eyelash away from signing with NXT. NXT wanted him.
He
did not go.
He's a very good. He's not an enhancement guy, but he's a guy that can get younger guys over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without losing. He ain't got to lose every week to get people over, but he can bring a guy up.
So you're saying he's a good worker?
He's a good worker, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got all the names here finally. Delirious, Dalton Castle, David Finley, Fred Yehi, Josh Woods, Wheeler Utah, Jonathan Gresham, of course, Jay Lethal, Tony Deppen, Tracy Williams, Rocky Romero, PJ Black, I was right, Silas Young, that was who Young was, duh. Kenny King, Matt Sydal, Rust Taylor. Don't know who. I haven't seen Rust Taylor.
Nor have I.
The name sounds really familiar. That's why I gave it the It's like it's one of those. I should know this, but it's just not clicking. You know what I mean? On that note, it sounds like it could be a pretty good little tourney. What's the date for that?
Lethal and Dalton Castle in Block A, and Gresham and Utah this weekend on Ring of Honor TV.
I'll be damned.
Nice.
If I was going to throw anything out, I'd probably say it'll be. Let's see, it's Lethal and Dalton Castle, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming Castle's working as the heel.
Probably. So I would say, personally, the way I want to see it shake out is I'd like to see Jay Lethal go against Jonathan Gresham.
That's what
they are a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. They are a tag team. In fact, aren't they the tag team? They're the tag team champions over there.
That I didn't know.
I believe so.
Could be good stuff. Now, let's go ahead let's jump into the big stuff. And let's go ahead and talk about AEW and all last week. Oh, boy. So,
Weatherman took notes. Weatherman took notes.
Weatherman took notes. Yes, he did. Copious notes. First, because of, just work, etc. last week, I never got around to watching Dynamite. But I did get to watch All Out. So, I kind of already know the shakedown from Dynamite. Who wants to throw down a quick recap of Dynamite last week? The high notes.
Dynamite opened with Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz. It ended up being a schmoz. Question I have in this match was, why does everyone have to do the Falcon Arrow now? It's like every match somebody does it.
It is true. Honestly, like the best Falcon Arrow, they've got the two people that do the Falcon Arrow best in AEW.
It's almost like the Michinoku driver kind.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. For some reason, I was starting to second guess myself. What's that one?
I think it is the Michinoku driver.
Yeah, I believe it is, because sometimes Excalibur will call it the Michinoku driver, and other times he'll call it the Falcon Arrow. I think it depends.
It's a suplex into a front slam.
Yeah.
Michinoku driver is more of on the head and upper back, whereas the Falcon Arrow is more of a slam on the entirety of the back.
Okay. It's one of those things. The difference between a brainbuster and a suplex is just how you drop them.
Exactly.
It's one of those nuanced things that there's so little difference. They're just, splitting hairs to make a difference. But I think Sheeta has a great Falcon Arrow.
Yep.
It works for her.
It's her finisher.
Yeah, it's one of them. I honestly, I think her knee off of the rope is her finisher. I feel like the Michinoku driver is more of a setup. Or the Falcon Arrow, rather.
Falcon Arrow.
A signature move.
But yeah, Cheetah, I'm okay with her using the Falcon Arrow. But you're right. As of late, it's become dime a dozen for a lot of people.
Like the DDT the DDT now, as opposed to DDT back in the day.
Oh, I mean, back in the day, Jake the Snake DDT. I mean, you didn't fuck with that.
Nope.
Well, still even today, Jake DDT is incomparable compared to the others. The only other person who would come close would be Arn Anderson.
Yeah, just like an Arn Anderson spine buster is a real spine buster. Everyone else's spine buster is just a sad imitation.
I don't know. Triple H got it there for a while.
I still don't think he's Arn caliber. Double A is the
well, the one dude.
I put Triple H at number 2.
Dax Harwood does a pretty good one too in FTR.
But he's Double A Junior.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and put it out there. I mean, their brain buster's light.
Okay, continuing on. I did ask the question: is Chucky T Buff Bagwell's son? Because if you look at him in the face, you kind of ask that question.
Well, the only way to know for sure is to get him some slick boots, black pants, suspenders, and a Chippendale's neck piece.
Or invite him to Heroes Clash Collectibles when stand beside each other.
Also that.
Wow.
I did put in conclusion to this match, just to go ahead moving forward. I think the best friends need to split and let Trent be a single and let Chuck go to the gym and lose some of that weight. We can tell Excalibur was back. MJF did a decent backstage segment with his lawyer, as this was the main event, him and his lawyer versus Moxley. There was an 8-man tag. This was the one we thought was on All Out, but it was actually on Dynamite with the stipulation of the winners face each other at All Out.
Yeah.
And
we predicted that, right? Because it was Young Bucks and Jurassic
you got it
Express.
right. I did say I think it's time for SCU to split up, being Scorpios, going with the Nightmare, whatever they are calling themselves nowadays.
Yeah.
Because Kazarian needs a singles run.
I think what they should do is not so much split up SCU. It's too time tested, but they need to turn SCU into more of a like special attraction type of deal. Shelve it for the most part. Let them only bring out the theme music when all of them are actually going to do something together. and then all of them have their own individual theme music. It has to be an attraction now because they hardly ever do anything truly together anymore.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not SCU if it's not all three of them.
True.
So I think
SCU
needs...
It's run its course.
Yeah, it has.
Are they going to bring back The Addiction then with Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian and just run them like that?
I mean, it could work.
I mean, with a secondary title, you could put them both in a singles program.
Because Christopher Daniels ain't trying to be in a singles program. That dude's too old.
Kazarian, I think, is a little longer in the tooth than Daniels is.
I don't think so. He looks a hell of a lot better than him.
He moves better in the ring, for sure. Daniels suffers from the same sort of like that stiff look when he moves. You know, where that lower back just seems awkwardly straight, where it gives him this weird posture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there is AEW's Randy Orton. We'll get into this match on the All Out, but FTR done a promo for the tag match. Totally was the only thing that was really good about it to me. The rest of the promo kind of sucked. It was they gave Kenny Omega chocolate milk and did the beer thing, then teased Paige for being a drunk. It was what it was, but Tully was Tully.
Yeah, Tully's going to keep that gravitas that they need, while they kind of ham it up with the youthful angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to ground them a little bit.
Now the fun part of the show, we had Chris Jericho versus Joey Janela.
I like watching Joey Janela work. I'm going to have to go back and watch this match, but I enjoy him just because
Well, the only thing you're going to hear the whole time you're watching this match is, "Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know?" Because he came out looking like Britney Spears.
That's not the first time Joey Janela's come out in like a crop top or something. I feel like he's done it before.
Well, he had the hair to match.
Oh boy, he put it in the weird split ponytails.
Yeah, in the split ponytails.
Mm-hmm. Did he do the pom poms, like the pom pom scrunchies?
I didn't see those.
Okay, he was close then. He was close.
Orange Cassidy came out to watch this match, and a girl in the crowd cut him off. She must have had to shit because she was really moving toward those steps. They announced Jericho at 3:35, and that's a solid 3:35 for Chris Jericho. I would have fudged that weight a little bit if I was AEW, but I guess they're going to be.
If Jericho weighs that much, I almost think that was like maybe someone misspoke, because even with Jericho looking that big, I don't think that's 300 pounds big. It's more than 235 big, but it's not.
Action figure, I know that much.
Say what?
Post-pandemic Jericho. Want to come a new action figure? Post-pandemic Jericho.
I mean, there's a point now. I don't want to come across as like body shaming or anything like that, but there's a point where we all know what old man muscle looks like. You know,
I own plenty of it.
We're not talking about table muscle. We're talking about old man muscle. Okay? There's a difference. Jericho is slowly transitioning from old man muscle, where it's just like, they're still stout as fuck, and it's like, they're probably still, like, pretty well, like, rock hard, but age is keeping them from getting to that, like, lean look anymore. And so... Say what?
Jericho... Speaking of age, Jericho's punches in this match were, I don't know if it transitioned into the pay-per-view, but they were so slow, and they looked so weak.
Mm-hmm. I in the pay-per-view, I thought he did pretty well. It looked like he was moving, like, fairly spry. My thoughts on it is Jericho probably took it light in that match, so that way he wouldn't, be hindered at all in the weekend.
He was saving it for the Mimosa Mayhem.
Exactly. I was going to say, he's got to make Janela look good for a little bit, but he's also got to really save it to make his gimmick match look real good.
I can't remember how this ended, but I think it did involve him and Orange getting into it. And I think Hager came out and got involved, and that was pretty much how that ended.
Yeah, it makes sense.
My last note was he played a drinking game to take a drink. Every time Excalibur fucked something up, he'd be drunk by 8:30. And
if Excalibur, I would chalk up a lot of his mistakes just because he's been on the shelf for months now. It feels like, or a month at least. So
a month, an extended siesta.
There's one person who's worse than him. It's the censors working the bleep button because they missed everything.
Honestly, like half the time I watch replays of AEW, it's like, do they not censor this?
And they have a delay, I heard.
So, I mean, I guess Dynamite last week was fairly strong. I know you were saying Thunder Rosa's match at Dynamite was really, really good and fairly even.
Yeah, it was with Serena Deeb, who was actually
formerly of the Straight Edge Society.
Oh.
That's Serena, and she was actually a trainer in NXT.
Yep.
And she actually came out of the OVW camp. She trained under Rip Rogers, and yeah, apparently, and if that's the Serena, I'm thinking the one that shaved her head.
Yeah, that's her.
Wow, she toned up in Florida, and she looks great. You couldn't tell that was her.
Yep.
But
that's
you can tell
the same one.
She's a great worker. JR kind of slipped up and kind of buried the division. But you can tell he was excited for this match because he knew both of them, and he's like, yeah, this is going to be two real high class talents here, probably the best match we're going to have in AEW. And he had to kind of come back. I can't remember how he put it. He had to kind of take it back.
Let me walk that back a little bit, gentlemen. Let me walk that back.
Not saying we have good wrestlers here.
He had a rough night all around, though, because he made a comment about Anna Jay that got some people riled up on the internet during the Dark Order match. He said something to the effects of, did Anna Jay just have a wardrobe malfunction, or is that just wishful thinking on my part?
What is wrong with that, really? I mean, come on.
Let him be.
Basically, he was saying he was hoping for a nip slip. It's basically what he said. Am I offended by it? Hell no. I think it's fucking hysterical.
JR had a Jerry Lawler moment. Give him a break.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a Jerry Lawler moment like a Jerry Lawler has a Jerry Lawler moment, but
he has moments every week, though. I mean, like, that's one of the fun things that my wife and I do when we watch AEW is, find the JR fuck up for this week. Either he's misgendering Sonny Kiss or he's making disparaging remarks against women or something.
It's easy to misgender Sonny Kiss. Sorry, but not sorry.
But he also called Nyla Rose the king of the division.
Oklahoma.
That's all we can say is Oklahoma. But
I will say about the Thunder Rosa match, AEW fucked this up, but you're not going to. It's not because of the match, not how it was booked. They went to a picture-in-picture in this match.
Oh yeah.
This match had no business going to picture-in-picture. I put. Then they actually went to a full commercial in the picture-in-picture.
Oh, that fucking shit. They did that on another match not too long ago. It was like picture-in-picture, then all of a sudden, randomly, picture-in-picture went away, and it was like commercials for 3 fucking minutes, and then the match came back. I was like, the fuck kind of shit is this?
I brought this up months ago about how I fucking hate that. That's the worst fucking thing about picture-in-picture. JR hypes it up. You're going to love it. And then you go to picture-in-picture, and then after 2 commercials in picture-in-picture, you go to full commercial.
I mean, half the time I just fast forward through picture-in-picture anyway because I know shit's not going to happen. I mean, it's like, okay, this is going to be...
Sammy G, it did.
Well...
Yeah. And the women's match, too, and the Thunder Rosa match, it stayed pretty heated through the picture-in-picture. Only thing I'll just say about this match was, and JR mentioned this, he goes, this is actual wrestling match with no gymnastics routine. JR said that on the broadcast.
That's good. It's like, as much as I love, like, high spots and, like, crazy athletics, I do enjoy, like, a wrestling match that is high intensity and is more traditional. I'm not saying we're going so far traditional as, like, we're going old style, like Bruno Sammartino, some of those, like, old dudes. No. That's boring.
I remember how JR put it now. He goes, we got an actual wrestling match here, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't no gymnastics routine between these two. But it's like one of the rare times he actually sounded excited for something. But I was going on the other notes. I felt Thunder Rosa's drop kicks were absolutely beautiful. I feel every woman in the locker room needs to be taking notes on these two. This is how you have a wrestling match. And only downside, I think Thunder Rosa should have gotten some promo time to talk shit to Shida.
Yeah, I think their match needed a lot more heat to build up on it. It
needed more build.
It was quick. It was good. But it needed a little more, I don't want to say animosity, because that's not really the right term. It's like there's no hate between the two of them. It needed more, like, hype to the actual competition.
I don't think Shida could pull off animosity.
No, not easily.
Because her mean character is basically, show me you have the skill. And that's her being mean. Like, it's just, I don't know, I can't see her ever being a heel just because of the lack of character that she has. It's because of the language barrier, and I get it. You know, she's only been speaking English for a little over a year. So it just makes it harder for her to do that. But she needs a little bit more depth to her character.
Yeah, I mean, give it time, it'll happen. Like, she's one of the best, like, women's division wrestlers they got, and she's still relatively new to it. But she definitely makes it work. She doesn't look like she's floundering in the ring half the time.
No, not at all.
Like, you can see some slip-ups, but she still, like, camouflages it well enough. I think she almost seems like she's got kind of a natural way about it. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
So let's go ahead and move into the...
My conclusion, I just want to throw in one more thing about this women's match.
Okay.
This match was something that could have been top of the hour on Nitro and went head-to-head with Raw.
I can see that, yeah.
There's also Moxley and the lawyer. The lawyer part sucked, but the beatdown from MJF and Wardlow was gold as far as getting MJF hot heat coming in all out.
I think that was the whole point of that match, honestly. We knew it was going to be a fucking dog shit dumpster fire. Because it was Mox against a pencil neck. And
yeah, but Mox spent 5 minutes coming. He's slowly becoming the new Undertaker. It's not as slow.
Yeah, well.
Well, during his entrance at All Out, they wound up tackling a fan during Mox's entrance.
Some fan
was running up.
And they got snatched quick.
Yeah, they did real quick.
It looked like Mox walked over there to, like, do something, like either check on him or, like, go in and, like, interact with him a little bit. Then he turned and just smirked at the camera. He's like, what the fuck? And then just kept on going. That was good.
You remember the real big buff guy in the WWF during the Attitude Era that would just manhandle fans?
Like,
you're talking about Jim Dotson.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at him now.
Now, Doug Dillinger, in his heyday, he threw some people around, but he was an ex-Charlotte cop, too.
Yeah. They called him Brian Damage Big Jim Dotson is what they called him. I'm looking at an article on him. He used to wear a hat kind of like Triple H used to wear back in the era. You know, that Kangol kind of looking hat.
Oh, yeah, turned backwards, the Sam L.
Turned
hat.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he passed away December of 2015 at the age of 49.
Wow, that's young. Younger than I thought. Shit.
2 years older than me. I got to watch out.
Since we were talking about Mox, let's go ahead and transition over to the spectacle that was All Out this past weekend. Now, the big consensus I've heard overall, and I get it to an extent, is, to me, and I feel it's more of the fault of the venue than the show, is it felt just like a giant episode of Dynamite. It didn't feel like a pay-per-view.
A $50 Dynamite.
Yeah.
The deluxe edition of Dynamite.
It's the, oh shit, I forgot to pay my cable bill, and now I've got to pay a late fee so I can watch Dynamite.
I just watched it the next day.
Blockbuster.
Late fees at Blockbuster? Yes. I mean, looking at it, I'm going to look over our chart from last week. Since the Jurassic Express and Young Bucks thing was actually before the event, as in it happened on Dynamite, the match between Private Party and SoCal versus Jurassic Express and Young Bucks, we did call it as to who would be competing. Now, in terms of who was winning, we didn't know it was going to happen, so we didn't call that. But we also didn't know that the Britt Baker and Big Swole match was getting bumped up to the main card, and honestly, that was the worst fucking match of the night.
I thought it was the buy-in.
It was supposed to be.
Yeah, but it got bumped up to the main card, like, towards the end of things.
So yeah, like the day before.
Was there one?
Huh?
Yeah, there was a buy-in. There was 2 matches during the buy-in. Joey Janela versus Serpentico was the first match. Joey Janela was rocking his Danzig tights.
Nice.
On that one. He winds up winning. And then they had Private Party versus the Dark Order, 3 and 4. So Reynolds and Silver, the Beaver Boys. And I got to say, dude, Silver, during this match, he did his finisher, which, or his signature move, which they showed on Dark because they did a special Friday Night Dark where they had a match also. It's this friggin' spinning, throwing friggin' slam thing where he takes a dude on his back, kind of like in a torture rack, just starts spinning, and then throws the dude up in the air and launches him, and he lands. Dude, it looks so cool.
So, my question is, are people going to start complaining about that like they complained about the Ultimate Warrior just dropping them out of the Gorilla Press?
I wouldn't doubt it. It looks friggin' nasty. The good thing about Silver is he's short. So
Yeah.
they're not going to go that fucking far. But, I mean, dude, he's becoming one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW. Just because he's so entertaining, watching him on Being the Elite, and they're actually taking some of that Being the Elite content and they're bringing it over into the wrestling programs, like how Brody Lee totally treats John Silver like shit. And we've seen that a couple times where he berates him and beats the crap out of him. So that was pretty interesting. But at one point in the match, he flexes a double pie. He goes, "I'm friggin' jacked." I lost it. I'm like, that's fucking hysterical.
It's like, it's enjoyable, but at the same time, I think when they're doing shit like that, it's kind of killing that vibe that I felt like the Dark Order kind of should have.
Oh, I agree. It's definitely taking away from this powerhouse collective of people, just being serious heels and whatnot. We're seeing that more and more with the Dark Order, where they're being a mixture of comedy and seriousness. But it seems like it's John Silver that's the comedy. Like this kind of shit doesn't happen with anyone else, just him, and that's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of going back to Britt Baker and Big Swole, one, cool. They did a ton of callbacks to all of, like, the interactions they've had for the past few months. Okay, cool. Cool, I get it. But that match should have just happened in a ring. It didn't.
It wasn't gonna.
It did not need the gimmick of being at the dentist office. That just fucked it up.
What was my prediction last week for this? I said the match wasn't going to happen because she's not cleared. Mm-hmm. The match technically didn't happen. They did it as a cinematic because she's not fully cleared. She's not fully recovered from her surgeries, plural. So they did it in a doctor's office. Go for it.
We've all been kids. We've all hit each other head with clipboards. Big Swole did probably the softest, most gentle clipboard shot I've ever seen in my life. It's not a steel chair. You can go to the head and you can beat the crap out of somebody with a clipboard. Mm-hmm. It was softer than Jericho's punches in the Janela match.
Because Britt Baker's not clear. That's
it was the only not Britt Baker. It was Reba.
Oh yeah,
Reba
that's right.
Receptionist. She's all.
I love her character. That damn clipboard. I love her. I love her character. I think she's hysterical.
I have had clipboards broken over my head. It's not hard to break them. It's just particle board.
And thin particle board at that.
I like how when Reba came out of the dumpster, she's got friggin' banana in her friggin' hair.
In a comedy match, if you go into a dumpster and don't come out with a banana on you somewhere, people are going to be pissed.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that she stabbed her with a fucking needle and made her leg go numb. Because there was something, that needle was in her leg. It looked like it was in there.
I mean, you can get like pretty legit like fake needles that even look like they have the like the liquid effect. Like it'll look loaded and then like it's got a trick needle that goes inside, and then when you press the plunger, it looks like it's putting liquid through. Like they make those. So
yeah, it's like the mechanical pencils when we used to act like we were injecting ourselves with lead.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. But
kids these days, the kids listening to this show probably don't remember what we used to do in the 90s.
The 90s were a time where you had to make up entertainment for yourself.
That was the 80s. They frowned upon us throwing lead pencils up in the asbestos-filled roofs in North High.
Wasn't much better at Central either. Now, like I said, that match right there, everything about that gimmick match I didn't enjoy. And honestly, I thought, as much as I like Big Swole, I didn't think she should have got the win. But that's all I want to say about that one. I want to go ahead and move on because the next
best part of that match was Reba. Best part of that match was Reba.
That's true. The next match was Sammy and Matt, correct?
No, Young Bucks versus Jurassic
Express. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the one we couldn't call. And then it was it Sammy and Matt or the big Battle Royal?
The Casino Battle Royal. Now with the Young Bucks match, we are seeing that heel turn for the Young Bucks. Like clearly see where they're going.
Yep, it's coming.
And it was one of the better matches of the night.
I feel like I said that last time, and you guys were like, no.
I don't fucking remember, but I will say yes. I will agree with you, Ben. Now, for the Battle Royal, only one of us called it correctly. And it was Mr. 33% himself.
Woo-hoo! I'm up to like 45 now, man.
Yep, he got it. He's the only person that called Archer, and sadly, the sweet Joker's wild spot, it wasn't Swoggle.
Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
Man, that was rough, too, because he took a spill once he got in the ring.
Oh, man. That is... Honestly, like...
I'm not going to blame that on him. I'm going to blame that on the Florida humidity.
I am, too, because that was the that honestly, that made the most logical sense because it looked like he was getting ready to do the jump, but his feet shot straight out in front of him.
Oh yeah, his right foot definitely just like straight up slipped off the rope. 100%.
Yeah, he legit slipped. It wasn't like a full blown like he fucked up on the actual attempt. Like he was going to do it correctly, and then external forces fucked his world up for a minute. And
no, it doesn't matter to Matthew.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. If you botch, it's all you. But Taz said it immediately. He's like, damn, moisture condensation on those ropes. But, so, for me, that just basically means that AEW needs to take a page out of the NBA playbook and get the Towel Boy. They need a fancy name. We came up with a few earlier. I'll go through some of them. I myself have a personal favorite, but part of that's because I came up with it. But some of the ones that we came up with, let's see where they are in the list. Here we go. We thought about the Buckle Buffer. John came up with the Rope Stroker. Then there was the Mat Mopper, the Humidity Hoe, the Towel Tugger. The next one's the one I'm not going to say. And then I'll skip a little further down. We got the Dew Dabber, the Drip Dryer, the Juice Jobber. And then finally, Enhancement Towelent. Just to get a really bad play on words in there.
Maybe even a rope ringer.
A what?
Actually,
rope ringer. Ooh, that's not bad either.
Actually, Buckle Buffer is the younger brother of Michael and
Bruce Buffer.
And Bruce Buffer. I don't know why it just slipped my mind. He's the younger brother. He didn't make it as an announcer. He's now an accountant that does your taxes.
But yeah, all in all, I thought the Battle Royal was pretty good. Now, it was Botch City, and I honestly like the worst spot next to his slip out shooting star press was probably body bag full of tacks thrown at the stairs.
Oh my god, that they need to stop with the body bag spots.
Mm-hmm.
It's as nice as I can put that, dude. You can't see anything. You can't protect yourself. It's just pray to God the person throwing you is not going to accidentally fuck up.
And honestly, the way it looked like Brian Cage threw him, and Brian Cage was just like, fuck this, I don't want to carry you anymore. And he just hucked him at the stairs. I mean, it did not look like Brian Cage tried to, like, really throw him in a way that was not going to fuck him up.
Next time they're going to set the body back on fire.
Oh, I'm sure. Give it time. Darby Allin works like he's from the Attitude Era. And
Yeah, he does.
As much as I enjoy watching it, like, knowing what we know now, I'm just like, stop. Do it every once in a while, not all the time. Just stop.
Speaking of Attitude Era, what the hell was up with Jake Roberts just taking a bag and pushing it towards Eddie Kingston? Like,
Eddie Kingston's
snake in there. Pull
There's
it.
a snake in the bag, you son of a bitch. It's still
Yeah,
real
well, pull
close.
it out and let him fucking see it.
Well, honestly, probably because, one, in an interview with Jericho, Jake said he's fucking terrified of snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that before.
Yep, and half the reason he was able to deal with it is because he's probably coked out of his mind.
Woohoo!
Second reason, they don't want the ASPCA or PETA on their ass. And you can see the track record of Jake and snakes in the past. It's not very good.
No, that story that he told on Beyond the what the hell was that wrestling documentary? The Dark Side of the Ring. The story that he told about Randy Savage, how he pissed the snake off.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
So
Also, there was the one on Storytime where the Damien got out in the airport. He had to go get him.
Yeah, his track record with live animals is not good. So him having a fake snake in a bag, that's much better than him having a real snake in a bag. But honestly, like all in all, Battle Royale was pretty good. I mean, it had some definite cringe moments in it, but overall it's good. And it came down to honestly the two people that across the board, with the exception of mystery guest Swoggle, that everyone chose. Kingston and Archer, but Archer got the push, which in the grand scheme.
Did Tully come out with Spears?
What? Yes.
Oh, he did?
Briefly, and he told them to go over to commentary, and he sat over at the commentary table until someone... Yeah, he sat over there for a while, and then he attacked somebody, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hung over at commentary for a while to play it off like he's like, no, I'm not fucking getting in the ring till I have to. And then he went in there and didn't last an incredible.
That's what it was. Spears hit him. Seidel, when Seidel came out as the Joker.
Oh, yeah, Seidel fucking high-kneed the shit out of him.
Yeah, he did. He came out, just ran and
he slept his fucking ass. Oh, man. But next, moving on.
I got to say one last thing on the Battle Royal. Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs, we talked about him a little bit last week.
He's endearing himself to me.
Yes. Yeah, same here. I dig his story. I like the way they're doing it, but they're starting to push him as a big man. And I also
liked how he checked, like you saw he rolled over and checked on Seidel after he took that bad botch.
Yeah.
And after I was like, and that's a stand-up fucking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like he went straight over, like threw it on, like maybe he was pretending like he was a pin, like forgot where he was for a second to play it off. But I was like, good man. But yeah, Hobbs, fucking like he held it with all those bigger names. He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm digging on him. Hopefully, we see more of him on Dynamite, or see him starting to get wins on Dark.
Yeah.
One thing that we didn't talk about.
What?
Since we're talking about Dark, the Initiative are no more.
Oh.
Yeah, the Initiative are no more. Peter Avalon attacked Brandon Cutler. They announced this week on that special edition, or on today's Dark, that they're going to have a match next week where someone's O has to go. Like, somebody is going to get a win.
This is when Brandon Cutler finally gets his win.
It'd be one or the other. Peter Avalon cut a really good promo.
Peter Avalon, I liked him in Championship Wrestling from Florida when he was with them, but not Florida, but
Hollywood.
What is it? Hollywood? That's right.
Where Damian Sandow is now the main booker.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Oh, Shooter Stevens, Aaron Shooter Stevens.
Fucking
ass.
So, is Leva Bates still the librarian person doing that stupid gimmick, or Avalon just kind of dropped it?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't drop it as much as he said that it was a stupid gimmick during this promo. He's like, they even gave me this stupid librarian gimmick, but I made it work and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was a fire promo that he cut on Dark. I was enjoying it.
I still want Brandon Cutler to get that W more than Avalon.
Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara in the Broken Rules, Broken Head match.
No shit, Broken Matt match, not character, literally. I guess I'm going to have to...
Will, do you want to read Ribby's tweet?
Yes, I will read Reby
Hardy's... I read it for my wife.
I will read Rebby's tweet from the night of the show. This is a screen cap
texting Matt
of text. So here goes. Love you. I got to hit the football field in just a minute to start our match. Hope you enjoy. And she says, I love you. Don't be dumb. What the fuck? You practically cleared that table. What the fuck? Matt, what the goddamn fucking fuck?
Yeah. Certainly illustrates the many uses of the word.
Yes. Fuck is a very versatile word. But goddamn, that fucking spill from that scissor lift was nasty. And like Aubrey wasted no fucking time throwing up that X. She was like, nah, he is cold. Boom.
He is out. He was cold out.
And when he came to, he couldn't stand up. He was practically pulling Sammy's drawers off. You saw a lot more Sammy than you ever want to do. His eyes were glass.
Just
he was
glazed over.
He still wrestled better than Jeff against Sting.
That's fucking awesome. Oh my god. Man, but there was so much back and forth about that match afterwards with Rebby. Rebby is a beast on Twitter. Like, she calls it the way it fucking is. And, you know, at one point, Brian Alvarez was saying that Matt's okay, blah, 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 this and that. And she responds with, how do you know that? You haven't even talked to us. You know, it's like, call the motherfuckers out. Brian Alvarez said something about, got word, Matt's okay, blah, blah, blah. And Rebby tore his ass up.
It's like we're still in the ICU.
Yeah. Now, wasn't he released like today or yesterday?
Yesterday, I think.
He put a video yesterday saying that he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when he came back out and they did the match, he still wasn't like all there. He was
well, that's why they went right to the end. They cut the majority of the match out because of the fact that he was in no condition after that. That's why they went directly to the falling spot, because Matt was sitting there telling him, Tony Khan was in Aubrey Edwards' ear saying, you know, stop the match, stop the match. Matt was pushing his character saying, there's got to be a winner. There has to be a winner, which is what they made one of the stipulations of the match to be. So he was pushing that and telling Doc Samson that he's okay. Mm-hmm. So they went with that. And you can go both ways on this. I mean, you know, is the performer the one to be making these decisions about his health at the time, or should they be following the doctor's orders specifically? I think they did the right thing from a storytelling perspective, because there had to be a winner. Matt's career was on the line in this match. So from a storytelling perspective, I get it and I agree with it. But from a fan who is more concerned about the health of the performer, I think they fucked up.
Agreed.
I will say this much. When Mick Foley says they should have stopped the match, that should say something. And he's taken many falls from concrete on the back of his head, but he's never took one that high. And he said, I know when you need to stop a match, and this is it. And he's admitted, though, that the Hell in the Cell should have went as long as it went.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Hell in the Cell, that's the thing of legend. And if someone who is part of legitimate wrestling legend says you need to stop it, and the one thing they're known most for is a very similar spot from way, way further up, you take that shit as gospel.
Mick, actually, I will reference a spot Mick done that is not the Hell in the Cell, but similar to that spot. Mm-hmm. Clash of the Champions in Texas, the Mil Mascaras bump.
Would he have been Cactus Jack at that time?
Cactus Jack. And Mil kind of did like the shoulder block through the ropes, and he went on the concrete. And that's when it was JR and Cornette on Conan, and Cornette said, my God, Cactus is dead.
I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's... If Mick Foley, the king of the bad bumps, says that it's a bump that you need to stop a match for, fucking stop a match. You take that is basically law. He is the king of bumps, and if he says it's done, it's done.
All right, so
bank.
Matt dropped a video on Cameo for a fan that basically says, I took a very bad bump and smashed myself on the concrete. I did a bunch of tests and evaluations, and they just wouldn't let me go. So I was stuck in the hospital, and I know you've been there recently, and it sucks. So I'm happy to be out. So this was September 7th, so yesterday.
So Sunday. Or no, yesterday, you're right. I've got my days mixed up. Yeah, Monday. But yeah, prediction-wise, all of us got it. Alex went devil's advocate and chose Guevara. If they had wanted to create some good storytelling, I think they could have called the match, and then Sammy could have played it up as, yeah, you got the easy out, you lost, but, then be like, nah, it wasn't a real match because of that. And so they could have worked some sort of, angle that way, I think. But, yeah, so far, John has had 2 for 2. Grayson and I are at 1 for 2. And Alex, sadly, you're batting a solid 0. You got the goose egg, my man.
Somebody's got to finish last.
Wasn't the next match Dark Order?
Next match is going to be Shida versus Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, because that next match was the letdown that kind of brought the show down.
What, the Thunder Rosa Shida match?
No, the one after it.
Oh, the Dark Order. But we got to see Colt Cabana wear Dark Order colors.
We did.
Ooh.
We did.
Still have Boom Boom.
Yeah, he did, but it was in
he still had all the same marks, but it was dark silver, purple, and black.
Yeah. So, to me, the first half of the pay-per-view was weak sauce. I was just like, ugh.
Matt and Sammy killed the mood.
Say what?
Matt and Sammy had really killed the mood.
Oh, the fucking vibe for the show just screeched to a damn halt. It was momentum, everything. It was just you were more worried about performers than you were worried about. I was I don't give a shit what happens now. But to make a food analogy, at least Shida and Thunder Rosa was a good palate cleanser. It was. It sorted out the bad taste in the mouth left from the previous matches. Because it was a damn good match. And I hope that they do a Shida and Thunder Rosa 2.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't like it. I was not a fan.
Well, I mean, your taste isn't the best, but okay.
You'd be wrong.
It was a good match, but it wasn't a great match.
It wasn't what we were expecting. We expected this match to steal the fucking show. With the caliber of performers that Thunder Rosa and Shida are, I expected more out of the match. And even my wife, we're sitting there and we're watching it, and she's like, this isn't very good. I'm not... She became unengaged during that match. Even with the Matt Hardy Sammy Guevara match, she was engaged in it because there was shit going on up until the bad spot. But with this match, neither her nor I, we just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. It fell flat for us.
The D match was so good, it killed the value of this match because Shida was sort of sloppy. There were some sloppy spots in this one where that previous match was just smooth all the way through. You couldn't really find nothing to complain about as far as a match goes.
Yeah, Grayson will find something. He's good at that.
About the Thunder Rosa match? No, I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fine too. Was it? Did it live up to my expectations in the sense that I thought it was going to be just fucking Thunder Rosa putting on a damn clinic and then almost a textbook change of pace, and then Shida getting a win or something like that? No, it didn't work out like that. It didn't. Mm-hmm. But it's as it was, it still showed off how good they both are, regardless of the lack of engagement. And I can almost give them a slide on that because after the bullshit from the Matt and Sammy match, you're not going to be able to follow that up and really keep people engaged.
Well, Thunder Rosa definitely showed that she's one of the best women wrestler in the world during this match. She totally showcased her talent and ability, and you could see that she is far and above better than damn near every woman on the AEW roster. AEW needs her.
Yeah.
This thing, too, that I want to bring up on this show. It's time for... AEW is now almost... they're either a year old or almost a year old. The AEW Dynamite show with a full roster.
Yeah.
It is time to trim the fat, especially with so many good wrestlers sitting at home. It's time to trim the fat of some of this talent who hasn't progressed where they need to be right now.
Nah.
Nah. Give us examples, Weatherman. Who do you think needs to be trimmed?
I don't need examples. It's a nah.
Well, I want to hear his thoughts on this because he makes a good point. I'm just curious as to who he thinks is someone that needs to be trimmed.
It's a bad point with the current plans in motion.
Well, we'll go over that in a second, but let's hear this theory. I am intrigued.
Swole needs to go. Kiss needs to go. If you want to have a gay character, bring in Fred Rosser.
Nah.
I think he's more talented than the Kiss and can be a great addition to the card.
Okay.
Don't agree with you on Sonny Kiss. I agree with you on Big Swole.
I'm not sold on Swole. She wants to be Jacqueline, but she can't. She's got the attitude, but she can't. She's too green. She needs to go work on her skill and give another shot another day. They need to go after Camille. Thunder Rosa, of course. After the match with Deeb needs a contract because she just, and plus being she was a trainer in NXT, she can work with these girls. If you don't want to trim the fat, just move them down and let them work. Build a power plant, for God's sake, and get some people better.
I can agree with some of those portions of what you're saying. What I think is, one, we've heard tell that they're going to start a second show. I feel like the second show needs to be the one where you really do build your developmental talent, or that's the one where you bump the people from Dark up because they've kind of been putting in the work and they're a little better than Dark needs, and you put your developmental folk that need that real build on Dark, get them working those Dark matches, get that, in-ring experience, start honing it.
I think AEW is scared to have that conversation, to tell somebody, you're not good enough for national television, we need you on the B show till you get it better.
It's true.
It has to do because they're executive vice presidents or whatever, because they don't have a legit talent relations crew to go, hey, you're not up to par with what we want, either step up or step out. Mm-hmm. It's just, I hate to quote Cornette, but it's all friends wrestling. Like, you did good. It's like, I believe they go backstage, even though they can have a shit-tastic match, and they're just like, you did good shot, do better next week. There is no, that was the drizzling shits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's straight up McMahon talk. But I agree that some of the people need to be moved out of the spotlight a little bit and just refined a bit more. Sonny Kiss has loads of potential. They just need to work on showing him when to do some of those gymnastic style spots instead of making it the entirety of his arsenal. You know what I mean? That's the problem that I have with Sonny Kiss. It's like almost his entire wrestling arsenal is built around that gymnastic ability. Show. And I think he needs more of the traditional wrestling mixed in to really sell it. And that's what I think with Sonny Kiss.
I do not agree. I think the fact that he's using those moves and his entire move set plays to his entire character, it just makes him more rounded, that the persona, the move set, it all matches. It all comes together.
It may all match, but it doesn't gel when it comes together in the ring. That's the problem. I mean, it looks good and it's entertaining, but when you see some of the matches, it's just like, okay, you can see where the moment in the move where physics dictates that they should have taken the hop to follow through with it, it either hits too early or it falls late to where it looks like they're lagging behind things. Like, it's harder for some of the people working with them to find that moment to sell the move. Does that make sense? You can watch where the timing's off because it's such an
It's like
unorthodox
everybody
style.
standing on the outside waiting for one guy to jump.
Oh, I mean, with regards to cutting talent and Sonny Kiss, I would cut Joey Janela before I cut Sonny Kiss.
There's another one I would cut. Yeah, Janelle's on my list to be cut too.
I like Janela.
Just because, I like Janela too. His spot with the thumbtacks in the feet is going to be the stuff of nightmares for years for me. But he's, I don't know. I didn't follow his independent career very much, and there was a mystique about Joey Janela, the bad boy, this hardcore fucking guy who does all this crazy shit. It hasn't lived up to the hype in AEW. With the exception of that match against Moxley, he hasn't lived up to that hype in AEW.
That and his proto AEW debut at All In.
By hardcore wrestling. Between ECW and the Attitude Era, hardcore wrestling doesn't do it for me no more. It's just numb.
They've got to figure out a way to make like that harder edge wrestling really work. I think Janela has a lot of talent, and I like watching him work. And he's good with making certain people look really good. Because I don't think he's a fucking like no talent hack at all who everyone carries in a match. No, I think he actually carries a lot of those other talent because, you know, he's honestly through the entire pandemic, he's been fucking working the whole time, whether with AEW or with his like East Coast promotions.
The social distancing match.
That was fucking beautiful. It was. It was so.
One more I would
weird.
cut, and all of y'all probably want to hate me for it. Marco Stunt.
Oh, fuck Marco Stunt. Cut his ass.
Waste of space.
I agree.
Take that money and give it to somebody who's worthwhile. But he's a buddy, so he's on the roster.
Oh, he's injured right now.
I think he also is like there for the kids. That's partly what I think. That's why he's with Jurassic Express. He was pretty much who Vince McMahon would definitely want, since that's who he caters to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think Vince
they know he's not a main event player, so they always keep him in that little side spot. But the kids like him. That's really all it is.
The only thing Stunt is good for is to be their Mikey Whipwreck. You beat the shit out of him. He never does an offensive move for 6 years. Then one day he gets that one win.
I'd be okay with that if it was just a long-term meta reference. Now, like there's a lot of like hiccups AEW needs to figure out. Then again, we can give them benefit of the doubt. They've only been in the game for a year.
Only Connie's grow a set of balls until somebody suck.
It's true. It's true. I mean, the Khan family's where the money is, regardless of whether the elite are in those VP positions. Money talks. If the man with the money says, hey, cut him loose, cut him loose. But as of right now, he's still riding high on the fact that he's living his dream running a wrestling promotion. Give it time for some of that rose tint to kind of fade out of those glasses.
Well, what it's going to take is TNT getting on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there's been a big changeover at TNT in management, and the Khan family's buddy got ousted for another guy, so it's similar to WCW and when Harvey Schiller got booted out and the Time Warner guys came in. Not saying it's going to be a Time Warner situation. It's just going to be, there's this new guy coming in who's not buddy-buddy with the Khan family, who's going to say, why the fuck we paying this AEW so many $1 million for only 797 viewers a week?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
makes sense.
I mean, outside of like real sports, that's their best rated show in viewership. So, like, I mean, I get your point, but your point is also wrong.
But what I'm saying is, what if this new person coming in is a baseball guy? We're doing the playoffs anyway.
And they've already shown that they'll move their schedule around for the sports because they know that's where like they can't compete with that. They'll move it.
But you got to be look at the high point picture. If something comes along down the road like say the NFL contract. TNT used to do Thursday Night Football. I think it was. I think TNT did it in the 90s. If that NFL money comes in, don't think they won't kick AEW to the curb for it, even if they could move them. Or if say the baseball licenses, if Fox is losing a lot of stuff. Like they lost the U.S. Open back to NBC, so Fox is dropping a lot of stuff. TNT may be there to be more of a sports network than it just depends on what I'm saying. It depends on who's in charge of TNT going to determine their future.
I don't see them dropping AEW anytime soon. Yeah, maybe whenever any of that happens, but who's to say that'll even happen? Yeah, that's a huge gamble to throw your eggs in a basket and think that's what's going to happen.
We've seen it happen once before, but at the same time, the odds of nearly the exact same thing happening twice are incredibly, incredibly slim. Wrestling's right now is probably the most popular it's been since the fucking Monday Night Wars era, which is great. And they can ride that hype for a while. Is it going to slip and TNT's going to start exercising some creative control? Of course, it's going to happen. But until then, it's all just guesswork. And I'm going to give the new company benefit of the doubt and say that a lot of the issues that we have with it will probably slowly start getting ironed out in like the second and third year, especially once they get a second program on and they can truly, as much as Cody hates to admit it, put on a B show that has some A-tier talent, but they're more there to develop.
The fortunate thing to them is they got that extension before this happened. They do have that extension to prove themselves, but they're gonna have to do better than what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean they're still doing good, but there is room for improvement. I will give you that. Now, before we get too sidetracked and that we gotta get things going and not make it seem too rushed, going with our predictions from last week with the Rosa and Sheeta, I went with Rosa even though I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen. Weatherman also went with Rosa, so I'm 1-3, or 1 out of 3. John's still batting 1,000, and Grayson's 2-1. That brings us to the big tag match.
I don't care. I'm getting a participation trophy.
That'll do. But that brings us to the big tag match, which I
think all of us called it.
We all said Dark Order.
Oh, that tag match. Sorry.
Yeah, the big tag match. Big as in number of participants, not big as in the big
8-man tag match. Yeah, with the Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona, and Scorpio Sky. The Friends of Cody. We shall call them the Friends of Cody versus the Dark Order.
The Cody Crew versus the Dark Order. And we all got it wrong.
Yeah, that's the feel-good moment of the fucking night.
Cody's Crew versus Brody's Boys.
The Cody Crew versus the Brody Boys.
Brody's Boys should have fucking won that. We're over here talking about how they're supposed to be building the Dark Order into this fucking, dark, fucking menacing, kick-ass fucking crew, and they drop the balls to Friends of Cody. I mean,
honestly, the whole reason
you just said it right there. Friends of Cody.
Yeah, there's Friends that, but honestly, the biggest reason is because was this not Matt Cardona's first official match?
Yes.
No. He had a tag team match with Cody on an episode of Dynamite already.
Okay. So it was his second match.
So they tagged up against 3 and 4, if I remember right, of the Dark Order. I mean, bottom line, Brody Lee's got the fucking belt. He's the TNT champion. The only reason I could see for them not letting Dark Order win is to build the Colt Cabana storyline, because Colt Cabana took the pinfall and Brody Lee went ape shit on him. That's the only reason that they should have fucking lost this match. Bless you.
Thanks. I tried to cover the mic. It didn't work.
You're good.
The one thing I can see if they're building the Colt Cabana storyline, there's twofold facets. One, since he's teamed up with Dark Order, every match he's been in with them, he has managed to get the pinfall for the win.
Yep.
And so that's built up his self-esteem, which is what Brody Lee said he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And since he just now lost a match with Brody Lee running the show, that kind of puts a chink in the mystique, so to speak. It kind of like puts that weird dark shadow over the bright, shining prospect of the Dark Order being his key to, victory all the time. So I can see that. And then second, it looks like they're building some sort of shit with Evil Uno, and I don't know what it is.
I do not know. I know that they did something with Dark that played into that, because Colt Cabana had a match, and members of the Dark Order came out, and Stu and Evil Uno were there, and they were like berating Colt Cabana for doing anything that a face would do. And towards the end of the match, heel Colt Cabana started coming out to the point where he used the finisher move, not the friggin' Superman pin. He used Brody Lee's discus clothesline to get the win.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was, telling of where they might be going. He wasn't wearing Dark Order colors on Dark. He didn't debut those until All Out. But I just think there's going to be more of a story there. And surrounding Colt Cabana escaping the cult, like we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just feel that that's where that's going.
I think you could be correct. I do. It's just it's going to be a slow build.
Or he's going to be the biggest guy in the group, besides maybe Uno, who can stand up to Brody Lee.
Well, that's what I said. As soon as he won the TNT title, I said his Colt Cabana should be challenging him for the belt.
Hot take. Colt Cabana takes over the Dark Order. They all become the Cabana Boys. Done. All right, that's it. That's official stance. Okay.
And then they can do the recliner thing again, like they did in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
The Dark Cabana Boys order.
Yeah, just the Cabana Boys. All right. Next, we've got the truly big tag team event of the evening: Omega and Page versus FTR, and everyone called that correctly because the writing was on the wall. The only thing from that whole match and its finish that brings into question anything we've said in the past is truly whether or not our prediction of Hangman partnering up with them is going to happen.
Yeah, they left him a beer.
They left him a beer, but at the same time, they've been talking shit about it being a drunk for weeks, apparently.
I think it's a work.
It could be. You're not wrong.
Can I say one thing about Hangman's look?
Yes.
All of us have been inebriated under alcohol. I've never had the pink circles under my eyes.
Yeah, that's cocaine or meth.
I would say, given with how puffy his face is, he's probably riding the white pony.
I like the fact that they changed his attire this week. Hangman,
I like those tights.
They put him in trunks. Yeah, I like the tights. They look like chaps. They were cool.
Actually, on the note about the drugs, it probably is meth because he is from Stewart, Virginia.
Give the man a little credit because he's not in Virginia right now.
There is that. The powder is easy accessible in Florida, though.
Yeah, and they are near Tampa.
So with the end of the match,
that's Tom Brady's secret.
Woo-hoo.
That's his secret to virility. With the end of the match, what was up with Kenny? Just leaving, and I'm done, and the Young Bucks chasing after him.
The cleaner's coming back. It's done. That's what that is. He's like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm going hard edge again.
He's going to get his sunglasses.
Kenny's going to the only 24-hour sunglasses hut in fucking Tampa. He's picking up some mirrored aviators. He's going to go grab some spray-in silver hair dye.
They were in Jacksonville.
Get a fresh pack of 5 gum.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's gonna pop over to Dollar Tree, grab a few fucking wicker brooms, and he's gonna be coming back hard style. Plain and simple.
Well, hopefully, I'd love to see the Cleaner and the Young Bucks, going straight heel, being the Elite.
I've always thought Young Bucks are better heels than like their weird face persona, because even as a comedy, even with their comedy, I thought they were amazing heels that were able to like play a joke. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their Bullet Club stuff was great.
It was fucking wonderful, and so I feel like they need to go back.
Like Cody is a heel too.
Yeah, Cody was a better heel than he was a face for sure.
And his dad was a better face than he was a heel, so there you go. That's why he's the nightmare. He was the dream.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Good on FTR for taking that belt. We knew it was going to happen as soon as they fucking signed. I don't think anyone went against FTR in this match. You said everyone went FTR,
we all took
right?
it. That puts John at only 1 miss. I am at 2 and 3. Grayson's at 3 and 2, and Weatherman is no longer a goose egg.
On board.
All aboard.
On the board. There you go.
But I mean, it feels like we're not giving this match like its due, but honestly, it was such an obvious call. There's nothing to say outside of like it's full of great spots, and then them hitting the fucking God, what's the name of their knockoff Meltzer driver?
The Mindbreaker.
That's it. Yeah, the double Mindbreakers.
Twice.
Fucking Kenny hitting Hangman with the V trigger to really set up the whole turn. It was great. It was a good match. If it hadn't taken me 2 hours to watch one fucking match, I probably would have finished it that night. But no, I had to stop because I was fucking getting bored of watching my screen stop every 15 minutes and load for like 30 or 40 seconds.
Dude, that friggin' flipping last call that Adam Page did off of the top rope to Dax Hardwood, that shit was awesome.
Yeah. But
who do you think should be the next contenders for the tag titles? So we're not going to have the rematch.
My guess is they're gonna have a whole bunch of people just build up FTR as this gnarly ass like nigh unstoppable tag team. But your next true contenders are definitely going to be the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah.
So we're going to have WCW Saturday Night style matches with them for a while.
Exactly.
I'm talking about, not Saturday, I'm talking about the old World Championship Wrestling, so where they're just in the ring just beating the fuck out of everybody and totally cutting promos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the Bucks, nothing's truly going to happen, I think, until Cody comes back, which probably won't be until at least Full Gear. And
Where's he at?
He's filming, he's working with Stephen Amell on that show for Stars called Heels. It's a wrestling show that they're doing.
I know. But if he's going to make an appearance at all to further any sort of storyline, he won't be back until Full Gear at the earliest. Just because of shooting schedule a few months at a time, it's going to take that much time to, shoot X number of episodes.
Here I thought they were rebooting Thunder in Paradise.
Oh, God. If fucking only. But this is when we're going to get Arn's turn to go with them.
I don't think Arn's going with them, man.
I think Arn will go with them.
I think, okay. I posed this before, where you're going to have two different Horseman factions. One by Tully, one by Arn. So, if the prediction of FTR, Sean Spears, and Hangman happens, the other side of the coin with Arn is Cody, Kenny, the Bucks. And we get a heel Cody to join the Cleaner and the Bucks.
If we look at pro wrestling history, what does Arn end up doing all the time?
He always turns on whoever he's with.
It's the Horseman thing. Tully will look at him and smile. what'll happen is Arn will spine buster Cody or one of them, and then he'll just turn and look at Tully, and they'll just sit there and smile at each other, and they'll get in the ring and handshake, and then it'll be done.
Yeah, I mean, Arn's going to be with them. There's no way he won't be, even with like the events from Tag Team Appreciation Night. I'm going to play that off as a work. That's the long con.
And then FTR, with as good as a promo as they are, they're just going to stand there in the background holding the belts while Arn and Tully do all the talking.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to stand back there and do the old, I'm just going to stand, Flair, not Flair, but really what Tully and Arn used to do when Flair was talking, just stand back there and laugh.
And what better way to make Arn a good reason to flip than him having been Cody's coach? Because what better way to take all of the information and easy ways to get at Cody and company than by being there and, air quotes, coaching him along. He basically has the Cody playbook. So it's almost like someone defecting and taking this wonderful information with him.
You mean like Hangman defecting?
Yeah.
They already have that.
The Hangman doesn't know shit.
Sure he does. He's been with Kenny Omega and the Bucks for how many years now? Over in Japan?
There you go. You just said it for me. He's been with Kenny Omega and the Bucks for how long?
Years.
Longer than he was with Cody.
Who was with Cody?
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, you lost me on that, because I'm talking about Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega ain't...
I'm not talking about Kenny. I've been talking about Cody the whole time. You got everything flipped around, man.
But the point that you're making about the turn, about, the spy or whatever, the Horsemen would already have that.
Hangman doesn't play off like a spy at all. No, that's not the Hangman angle. He doesn't have any
talking about that being a work. The whole Hangman thing being a work.
Insider info, other than the fact that, hey, I was with the Elite. I mean, he might be able to bring some tag team info on the Bucks since they were the Hung Bucks back in the day, but in terms of current storyline, no. He's been the alienated, third wheel. He's
been with them since the inception of AEW.
And again, he is not in the know.
He's not an EVP.
Exactly. I don't agree. He might not be an EVP, but he's been with them since day one and before.
He's not in the know.
You're going to play that spy angle.
Your spy angle is going to come from the bigger mind in the business who has been playing a coach and mentor angle to someone else. Who's been sitting there with a friend's been in his ear. Always in his ear. That's your better angle for the spy and the manipulator, Arn. Hangman is basically your pity party. It's someone with potential that's not getting the rub, and so he defects out of, frustration and other people sowing those seeds of dissent.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree.
If Arn,
we already got that with Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
And the Arn promo is going to be epic. They're going to have Tony Schiavone go out there. They're going to go out there. They're going to have Tony Schiavone go to the ring, and unlike everybody else who runs him off, Arn's going to make him stand there and hold the mic. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be like an old 80s style promo. It's going to look more like FTR in the background, Tony and Arn in the front, Tony in the middle, just sitting there, just like almost like an NWO type Mean Gene. But Tony's going to be like, what are you doing? Why are you turning your your protege, blah, blah, blah. And then Arn just cuts that awesome Arn Anderson promo, and Tully's sitting there just stroking his hands, laughing.
I think
and the old gang's back together.
I hope that's the way they go, but honestly, I'm excited about the prospects in either direction. But to keep this train moving on, because that's one of those things we could debate and talk about forever. Next, we go to the Mimosa Mayhem match. The gimmick beat all gimmicks of this event. And that was a match that was so much shorter than I expected it to be. I was kind of let down.
Gentlemen, I just want to say one thing about this match.
Okay.
Was that the mimosa being flushed out of the tanks?
I think it was just the match entirely was shit. The only person that worked halfway decently was Orange.
I loved it. It's a gimmick. It's exactly what it was supposed to be. It was a gimmick match.
Show besides the title matches were gimmicks.
It was what it was. It was a fun match. We talk about near finishes and there were so many near finishes on the tank where they're right next to it. At one point, Jericho's leg goes in. I was entertained. I thought it was fun.
I mean, it was fun, but I expected more from it with the amount of build-up that Jericho put into it. It was just fucking short. I didn't get enough time to really get invested in it.
Who called what on that match? I think we all went Orange.
We all went with Orange.
Nice.
Yep, we all went Orange. And then the biggest match of the night, Mox versus MJF. And just to go ahead and get it out of the way, we all called Mox, and we were all correct.
I loved MJF's attire, though. Those friggin' patriotic trunks he was wearing.
God.
And the robe. I liked it.
He played the douche nozzle the best he's played it in forever in that match.
To a fucking T. Absolutely. He's the best heel going in AEW.
And they teased the Wardlow turn with the missing the ring throw.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But, in a way, the only bad thing about this match to me was technically Moxley didn't win clean, but he did. He won with the paradigm shift. He wasn't supposed to use it, but still, it's a clean win over MJF, so it kind of did kill the momentum.
I think what it was, that match kind of was a turnabout as fair play type of match. Like, Mox saw the ring drop, and he capitalized on it.
Mm-hmm.
He also he saw it coming because, MJF and company, they'll telegraph that ring toss for days.
So MJF is becoming the new bloody worker. Like,
yeah, he is.
His last several matches that he's been working have been bloodbaths. Like, I think it works for him. He wrestles great being bloody, and it's a good look on him.
But he needs to be the only one bleeding on the show. When you have everybody bleeding on the show, it means nothing.
Cody's going to bleed every time. Cody's gone now, though, so maybe that's why they're pushing the MJF bleeding.
What I'm saying was back on Dynamite, the Moxley beatdown, it kind of lost its muster because Matt Hardy got busted open earlier in the night.
That wasn't supposed to happen, though.
But it did.
Yeah. The oopsies will happen, but all in all, like, the Mox and MJF match was second best match of the night. Best match of the night was for sure the FTR tag belt match.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And honestly, like, the Mox and MJF match was worth all the hype they built up for it. Grayson, what did you think about it? Do you think it was worth the hype?
I thought it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what I said. It was Mox was going to win. They're going to push forward with the Wardlow turn.
Yeah. Like, and honestly, just like I said many times, it's just MJF in the grand scheme of, the belt picture, he's too green for a belt. I mean, he's got 5 years in the business, but he's too green for a world title.
Mm-hmm. He'll have it, though. It's just a matter of time.
He will get it. It's going to happen. But I still give him another 2 years before he gets it.
I'll say what I said last week. If they're going to get rid of Wardlow and MJF together, back to re-sign new talents, they need to look at Hammerstone and, God, I can't remember his name again, the other one, and put the Dynasty together.
Oh, yeah. His dudes from
MLW.
Yeah. I can never remember the fucking acronym for that wrestling promotion. I know it's got an M and a W. It's that middle fucking letter.
Richard Holiday.
Richard Holiday, yes. The original Dynasty was MJF and Holiday, and then Hammerstone was the third guy. Now that could be a way to do a reverse turn on Wardlow. Just have them come in and beat the fuck out of him, and then you got that. And anybody who keeps up with the lower, the non WWE promotions are gonna be like, oh shit, it's them. He just put the group together. It's going.
And then that would also be a good time to start really pushing that triple tag belt that Kenny's been talking about for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be MJF's first taste of gold.
I figure he'll get the TNT title.
I can see that.
Once it goes back on a baby face, which will probably be before end of the year.
I might give it until if Double or Nothing happens when it should, which is more like February as opposed to fucking May, like it did this year for some reason. I could see Brody Lee holding on to it till at least Double or Nothing. He's got to hold it through a pay-per-view at least, and the next pay-per-view is Full Gear. So,
well, here's the thing: being it's the TNT title, can only be defended on TNT television. Even though WWE defended the television title on pay-per-view, was still on television. Though this is the TNT championship.
You are correct. I could be wrong. You're right. But you gotta the only caveat I have to that is Brody Lee has basically said there's no more open challenges, so that means he's gonna have a stranglehold on who he lets challenge for it. So if anyone's gonna get that belt off of him, it's probably going to be like we said before, and it'll be someone from the inside that sneaks on him. You know, it'll probably be some sort of triple threat where it winds up being like, for some reason, Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, and then someone else or like two other people in like a fatal four-way, and then that's when Colt capitalizes on someone else.
I have a booking idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, each promotion used to have a clause in their contracts. You have to defend the belt within X amount of days.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put a
30
60-day limit on. Let's put 30 or 60 days on this belt. Some will have an AEW executive come up to Brody Lee and go, "Hey, you haven't defended the title within 60 days. You got 5 days. You got till such and such pay-per-view to defend, or we're going to strip you of the belt." Or a Dynamite show, whichever will be close to that mark. And then he gets the idea, okay, I'll just have my guys do a laydown. And he has one of the lower tier Dark Order guys just come in and let him either he beats the fuck out of them for the hell of it, or they lay down.
John Silver.
Yeah. John Silver.
And then it becomes Colt's turn to do it. And then there's the turn there in the middle of the match where Colt finally actually fights him and beats him.
I like it.
But you're going to have to do that with multiple Dark Order members first to just let it be, to build the precedent. Oh, everybody's going to lay down. Where he gets confident in his head, they're all going to lay down for me because I'm the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to Colt to do it, he goes to lay down, but then he goes for a small package, 1, 2, kick out, and then a match breaks out.
There we go. I like it.
But that's smart booking.
Yep. It's true, but I think AEW hits a few more than WWE does. WWE takes too many trips to the same well. AEW is a little more just inconsistent.
Everybody's batting under 200. Like me on my predictions.
There we go. So, on that note, we'll call it. We ended the night on our predictions for All Out. I ended at 4-3. John got it at 6-1. Grayson was at 5-2, and Alex was at 3-4.
Actually, I did bat better than 200, so I'm happy with that.
There we go. Hey, baseball, it's that one sport where, your number looking like shit, it's still good.
I'm telling you, I got to be getting close to fucking 55% by now.
You're getting back.
If y'all
I can't get back if I've never been there.
Sure. All right, but I guess we'll close it out in our usual ways. First, we'd like to thank Falcon and the Polar for all of our editing magic. They keep us sounding good and coming to you each and every week. Also, please give us the follows. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those things to tell you directly. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at @post_wrestling, because, you know, apparently every good name is taken on Twitter, so we got stuck with their auto-generated one. And then on Instagram, it's at post_pod. Follow us. Like us. We'll try to post more humorous pictures.
Who is that? I see a name that keeps popping up on there. Shannon Smith. Is there someone that we know?
Yes.
Yep.
We know Shannon through Wes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, whoever
Watch
Shannon
the
is,
Wild
thank
West.
you.
I know she's a little deeper than that,
If
but
you watch the Wild West show, me, Shannon, and Wes done a triple table talk thing. I don't want to say a 3-way because that just sounds kinky.
I'll go ahead and call Shannon our #1 fan.
You know, feel free to interact with us on these media, guys. If you guys who are listening, if you got questions, concerns, likes, whatever, dude, you know, it's only going to enhance our show if we can speak back to you about shit. So, I mean, if you got questions, you got comments, you think I'm a dumbass, whatever, let
We
us
need
hear
feedback. Make it happen.
Exactly.
Grayson, you want to hit our fine imaginary sponsors?
put some pep in your step. Eat Blue Chew. Omaha Steaks. Go to sleep afterwards.
If you want that Chris Jericho physique, that demo god way, the only way, it's Omaha Steaks.
Also, the only way to pay, Square. Get it today.
Build your website with Squarespace.
Oh, and CBD oil. I have all these aches and pains, but when rubbed with my CBD oil, all gone.
And HelloFresh. We ship you a bunch of shit in a bag and you cook it. But it's good. I'm not gonna lie, it really is good. But still. Hey everybody, we pitch the same shit on every podcast. Don't worry.
All right, gentlemen, let's wrap it up. Want to thank everyone for listening this week to Post Wrestling Podcast with your boys, the brothers of discussion, Grayson and Will. This is your boy, Drummer John. Want to thank our special guest, Alex Weatherman, for coming back again and going over shit with us, talking wrestling. I sent you a friend request, by the way, Weatherman.
I just accepted it.
You're friends now.
Yeah! You can watch my shitty drumming videos. Enjoy. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening. Like us. Tell your friends about us. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Y'all have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye, everybody.